I'm going to demo history from the perspective of a user in a team. So they're going to be using history inside their team to communicate their research and findings. Um, so first, before we begin, be sure to install the extension. You can do that from this link in the lower left-hand corner here, and it'll put you through an onboarding process, and be sure to enable all the settings. So the settings will look like this. So, different options. Okay, so now first let's create a collection. Collections are how you share things with your team. Say, let's call it Project X. And you see the access permissions, by default, it's just to you. So let's create with that. And when you click this, you will be able to invite your team. So I'm going to invite this user here, just to demo. And while we are here, if you had signed up with a company domain name, History would automatically set up an org for you. And that makes it much easier to collaborate. You wouldn't even have to create invitations like this. You can, by default, have it shared with everyone on your org. And while we're here, public is, if you turn a collection public, that means it's going to be visible to the whole internet. So let's say you're publishing about a particular topic. Everything that you're researching on that, you can just turn that public, and that gives you a public link here. And history also allows you to accept emails, meaning every collection gets its own email address. And you could use that to collect information. Like, say you are doing competitive intelligence, you can use this email address here to sign up for your competitors' newsletters, and all of those will show up here. So first, let's go create some highlights. So what I'm going to do is I'm doing research for that Project X. Looking at a few websites, and I realized that, oh, okay, these are the things that my teammates need to take into account. So I'm going to create a few of these, right? And I'm adding it to Project X, and it has suggested a few tags here based on what we have seen the user do. And competitor, right? And you can type free-form notes here. Let's talk about this, right? And I'm going to do a couple more. Right. And say we are continuing to do the competitive intelligence. I want to show you one more thing. Say if you're trying to save this page, history is an active tool, right? Like, so you don't just put information in. History like goes out there and gets the information for you. And just as an example, history has parsed some metadata from this page. If you see here from this Twitter profile, and then when you save this, that gets added as well. Another such example. Right, so if we go back to our collection, so we have all of that here, all the research we did. And it has helpfully created a table up here of the different people we researched so that we can compare them easily and decide who to reach out first. And everyone on the team has been notified of the additions you have made to this collection, so they can come back and take a look at this. And say you've done you're deep in this research mode, and you've like opened a bunch of links, and you just want your teammates' opinion on a lot of things. So you can just go here and save all the tabs, say research for. So the point I'm demonstrating here is that all the tabs could be saved and opened in your coworker's computer so that they can continue where you left off or contribute to this. Now let's take a quick look at history over here. So this is the log of how you have research, how you've done the research. So it creates a tree style analysis, like as a visualization for you. But more importantly, this is how we bring in machine learning into helping the user. So by knowing how much time users spend on the pages and how they get from one piece of information to the next, and how much what their scroll depth is, and various such signals like that, we are able to tease out the user's intent. And that's also the reason we have this voting UI, right? So if you see this voting UI is available on all the web pages, and it gives the user a quick way to upvote, downvote, and that goes into that becomes another signal for us to figure out their intent and surface information to them. Another thing that I would like to show you is Slack import that we have. So so I go here and I type history import, and this whole channel is now being imported into history. And we are working on converting these chat conversations into documentation by figuring out the question answer type interactions and pulling that into a history collection. Since history strives to be this central nervous system for both you and your team as far as information goes, we have numerous integrations, as you can see here. Let me just quickly show you. Over here we have IFTTT, and this is just a quick demo of how your YouTube up likes and Twitter likes and Reddit upvotes and everything gets piped into history to then be served up to you in your search. Right, so it's like that. And here are all the collections that we created, and it gives you some helpful filters. These were the collections that were shared with me, and the tabs that I saved. All the information is quickly available to you. And publishing is actually pretty interesting. So here are some of the collections that users have published. So here's the research I did for traveling to Japan. So say you are learning about a topic, you can, since you're doing the work anyway of saving highlights and things like that, you can just publish them, and then you can get a following. And that's just a quick introduction of history's various features. Happy exploring.